Welcome everyone, this is Zan Ta with Repo Products. Today's video is on how to create a block in AutoCAD. I have AutoCAD 2020 open and I have a block that's already been created as you can see here. If I select the block, you can see it's a single entity with some line work and some text and some fields. If I were to double click the block, you can get into the Enhanced Attribute Editor and you can see the data that's being described, and then you can actually put in your information. How do I create a block like this? Before I create the block, if I select that block and say Add Selected, it goes into the command. I can click to place it and place it. The minute I finish placing it and its orientation, the Edit Attribute window will open up because I have text in there that are attributed text, and then the information is stored and it displays in this window, and you can change it to whatever you want. Say for example, conference room B and some other value. So whatever value you input here, it will adjust accordingly. And when you click OK, the information is pushed into that block. So now the question is, how did I create this block? I'm going to go ahead and delete this and just push this over here to the side, and we'll go ahead and generate the creation of this. What I'll do is I'll create a simple rectangle, and I'll use my block as an existing point of reference just to help make the geometry faster and easier. And then I'm drawing basic line work. And I'll move the line work. And it helps if you have your snaps turned on. Okay. And so this part's very easy. You're just drawing basic graphics for the line work to make it look nice. And then I'll use the line command to place one here at the midpoint and come down. Now the text that's over here, north, south, east, west, is just basic text. So I'm going to use my mtext command. I'm just going to type in MT, and then I'll put it where I need to place it. So I'll do this. And then I'm going to put in here north. Click out and I'm done. And then I'll move it where I need to move it, so it's nicely placed. And then I'm going to copy it. And then I'll change all the text. This is the easy part. Now, as for the other pieces of text, those are what are known as attribute text. So I'm going to use the command ATTDEF for attribute define. It opens up the attribute definition window, and I can put in here the name of the tag, for example, room underscore name. And the reason I do the underscore is because when you put in the name of the tag, it doesn't like spaces, so I just put the underscore. The prompt can be anything you want, so that way the end user can see. So I'm going to put in here what is the room name. And then the default, put in some value so that people can see what's going on. So I'll put in here restroom. And then the justification, I'll put it as middle center. And then I'll make it annotative with a printed text height of 1/8 of an inch. Click OK, and then I can place this wherever I want. So I'm going to try to place it roughly centered here. And then we'll just move it accordingly. And I'll turn my ortho mode off. And that's good enough. We can then take this and copy it over here, or we can start a brand new one. And what I'll do is I'll select it, change this to say paint, or better yet, wall underscore finish. And then the prompt will be, what is the room finish? And then obviously the default is going to be whatever you want to put. And then since I've already done one, I can just copy it. And now I have all of my graphics and my geometry to work with. Now, depending on the finish that you're working with or that the person is going to put in, you might need some more space. So I'm going to go ahead and grab all of this information here, and I'm going to move it over here. And it makes sense because this text doesn't change the width-wise, so it'll give enough width in the spacing here for extra long verbiage. So now how do we create the block? We head over to the Insert tab of the ribbon, head over to the Block Definition panel and click Create Block, or just type in B for block. You'll get your block dialog box open up. You want to give it a name, so we're going to call it something else because I've already had this block. So I'll put in here Room Tag A. You have a base point section, an objects section, a behavior section, settings, and description. So first off is, where's the base point? Click Pick a Point, and pick a point that's logical. And the reason you want to think about this is because if the block changes in definition, it's going to adjust in width and height and whatnot. So I'm going to pick this upper left corner. And then in the Objects section, I'm going to click Select Objects. Now there is a sequence of picking this because you have attributed blocks you want to work with. You want to pick all of your graphical geometry first, then all of the standard text that are not intelligent, then pick the attributed text, and you want to pick them in the order that you want the end user to see them in the dialog box so they can input the data. So I'll put in here room name, wall finish, wall finish, wall finish, wall finish. And I forgot to do the room number, but it's the same thing as doing the other previous wall finishes. When you finish picking objects, hit enter. And now you have the objects selected. You'll tell it to convert it to a block. I'll set it so that it's annotative in behavior. I won't let people explode it. The units are set to inches because my drawing was set to inches to begin with. If you want to use a hyperlink, you can have a hyperlink available for the block so the end user can hold Control down and left click on the block, and it will open up a web tab to whatever that site is going to be. And then obviously the description, so you can put in here room tag for project or whatever you want to call it. Click OK, and the block is created, and it automatically tells you this is the data for all the attributed blocks. If you want to change it at this point, you can change it. If not, just click OK, and the block is created. If I select this entity, you'll see it's a single block now. And so I'll go ahead and pan over a little bit. I'll type in B for block. And you'll see this is how you create a block. How do I insert a block? Head over to the Insert tab of the ribbon, Block panel, click Insert, and you'll notice you have the room tag A that we created. Click it, and it automatically comes with your cursor. Click where you want to place it, and then it prompts you. So we'll put in here, I don't know, training room, and the finish is going to be lacquer, or whatever you want. And then when you're finished, you click OK, and the block is created. That's how you create a block in AutoCAD. Now, if you want to take this block and export it out to be used in another CAD file, you can just use, under the Insert tab, the block definition, where it says Create Block, choose Write Block, and then you can pick the block you just created, tell it to put it where you want to put it. So I'll put it under my temp folder, and then I'll click OK, and it knows to grab that block, and it shows it out. So if I were to open up Windows Explorer, let's give it a second, and head over to my temp folder, you'll see that room tag A file has been created. So that's how you create a block in AutoCAD using attributed blocks and the sequence and whatnot. Thank you very much for watching.